Welcome to the Austin Biz Buzz, the podcast that builds the buzz about Austin business. So kick up your feet and turn your brain on. It's time to talk Austin business right now. Here's Herdy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Austin Biz Buzz, the podcast that builds the buzz about Austin business. And today we're going to talk to you in a few minutes where we have Sheryl Cota with Cota Design and graphic designer. But before we get to her and ask her some questions about how she can help your business, I want to thank my sponsor, Mike O'Neill. Mike O'Neill's a money coach. His website is mkoneil.com. Mike O'Neill actually was a past client who, when he heard I was relaunching the Austin Biz Buzz, jumped all over it to become a sponsor. This allows me to cover Austin business at no charge so they can have a voice in their local market. Sheryl, welcome.
Welcome. Hi, Herdy.
Hey, how are you? Well, first of all, I guess we had to clear the decks and tell everybody that you do quite a bit of work for a lot of my clients as a contractor. I send you into a client and marry you with them on certain projects. And so, it's pretty easy for us to talk because we talk all the time, right?
That's correct.
I mean, we talk all the time.
Yeah, we do.
And that's a good thing. Yeah, we have to communicate a lot on certain things like YouTube banners and things she's creating to make sure. So we have a lot of contact between us on certain clients, which is really cool. So Sheryl, before we get into the questions, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you originally from. Give us a little background. Don't go back to 10, maybe start a little later if that's okay. All right?
Well, that's going to be hard to do. I was born and raised in Austin, Texas.
There you go. Austinite. I knew you were going to say that.
I am.
So you have seen Austin from to little to wowzer, right?
You could say that. 6th Street wasn't much. There wasn't much to it at that time.
Yeah, and what part of Austin did you live in, and how far did you have to go north or south to be out of Austin?
Actually, I lived in north central Austin, and so I was around between I-35 and 183. So I didn't have to go very far. Actually, once you got to Anderson Lane,
You were out.
you were out.
That's crazy.
I know. Yeah, it was.
Now, have you been in Austin the whole time? Have you ever been anywhere else? Has it always been you lived in Austin, or have you lived other places?
The only part of outside of Austin that I've lived was in Georgetown and in Lake Travis.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's very cool. I just had to ask, okay? I just had to ask.
I know,
So,
we're few and far between. It's okay.
So what we do on this podcast, the Austin Biz Buzz, is we have some questions that I asked Sheryl to send me, and we're going to go through those. And hopefully, if you're a potential client listening in or get a chance to catch this podcast, you'll be able to hire her and also get her into your business because she does a great job. So Sheryl, before we start, what's the best way for people to contact you? How do you like to be contacted by a potential new client?
I would prefer to be contacted either by text or by phone at 512-789-7543.
Can you repeat that?
Sure. It's 512-789-7543.
Okay, thanks. So we're going to dive into some questions, folks. We're going to be on about 30 minutes tonight. We want to run through these and get Sheryl's thoughts on some of these questions. So Sheryl, what made you get into graphic design? What attracted you to that?
Well, as a normal kid that loves to draw, I enjoyed doing that for a while. But what really got my attention was I was at the mall and I had a 16-year-old guy about my age at the time hand me a business card. And I couldn't believe it. And he told me that he was a commercial artist or a graphic designer. And I thought that was just really, really cool. So I started going to a vocational program in high school that taught commercial art and graphic design.
And that's how you got started.
That's how I got started.
And so did that really get you creatively moving in that direction? Is that something you just discovered you really wanted to do forever and ever? Did it just hit you that way that this matched perfectly with your skills and liking to draw and everything?
Well, at that time, it was really interesting how computers were really starting to come into the limelight of how they were doing the digital workings and print and press and colors and papers. And I just found it very unique and called to me, I
Yeah.
guess.
And
So
so I guess the next easy question then that leads into that, Cheryl, is how long have you been doing graphic design? How long have you actually been in your business?
I've actually been doing graphic design for about 15 years. I just started my company about 8 months ago.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And you already have clients, because I know I've given you a few. I know you've had a few. We're both in a network group meeting together in Round Rock. So I know she's got clients. She stays fairly busy, right?
absolutely.
So how do you keep motivated? Tough business, right? I mean, it's a lot of work, a lot of tasks, a lot of having to go back and forth with clients, right? And showing them things and making sure it's good. So how and what keeps you motivated? What is it?
My client keeps me motivated. Whenever they see what I'm doing for them to help them excel in their company and to showcase whatever service or product they're doing, their smiles, the fact that they're happy with the product that they're getting from me, that's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah, and so nothing like having a client that's happy with the design you did. It kind of puts a stamp on your work, right? Makes you feel good.
Absolutely. Yes, it does.
I know I do that in the video realm, and when I know I've done a good video for a client, it makes me feel good when they're happy. That's really why I do it too, if you want to know the truth. So yes, money's important, but so is the coolness factor of somebody saying, I love that.
Yes.
So a typical client, Cheryl, you work with a lot of different clients. Who do you prefer to work with? What type of client?
I prefer to work with a small business, a person maybe that's a sole owner, someone that has a service or a product that they want to get out there, a person that maybe has some ideas of what they're looking for and how they want to portray their business as far as marketing material.
Yeah, so I would think that I would think by small business, the solopreneur you mentioned, but you'd be willing to work with other companies that have a few more employees, right, if needed, right? Because there's other things you can build into that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and what is a good strategy for getting the results that your customers are looking for? What do you mean by that? How do you sit down with them? Is it something you strategize with them before you start building their brand and the things they're doing in the marketplace? Do you sit down and say, what do y'all need? What do you want? What's going on? Right?
Right. Well, first I'll start with a list of things that they're looking for, whether it's a business card logo, brochure, website, social media marketing. Write a list. And then we'll sit down at the computer, and sometimes they'll have ideas that would send me pictures, or we'll, Google some ideas or search some ideas on the internet, so that I can kind of get a taste of what their personality is like.
Right.
That type of thing, a feel for what the type of product and how they want to portray it in a marketing standpoint. And then as I start and work on my designs, I also keep them in the loop, make sure that they see what I'm doing. I'll show them comps to make sure that I'm headed in the right direction. And they'll say yes, they'll say no. And then we'll just keep working on a one-on-one basis like that until we get the product that they're looking for.
So in other words, it's a lot of steps. And in some cases, what I'm hearing you say is maybe this client you're working with doesn't really know what they want at this point, right? You have to really kind of be a guide and a leader with them on trying to explain why things need to look a certain way or be a certain way.
That too, but I also want to bring in their personality to the marketing as well. And so that way, whenever we come up with a desired product, it's something that they're proud of as well as I am. I know that I've given them a professional looking piece of work, but it's something that they're going to take pride in whenever they're presenting it and they're presenting their company.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're about halfway through the Austin Biz Buzz podcast with Sheryl, and I have a sponsor I want to make sure that we hear from. So, folks, we'll be right back to talk to Sheryl in just a few minutes. Okay, we're back. Sheryl, let's give everybody your contact information again and make sure they have that.
Thanks, Herdy. I'm really proud to be sponsoring the Austin Biz Buzz. You know, if you'd like your business to be more profitable, I'd love to talk with you. That's what we do here at Money Coach LLC is we help businesses be more profitable. Love to talk with you, see if we can help you out, make you better. You can find us at the internet at www.mkoneal.com. That's www.mkoneal.com. Thanks. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, we're back. Sheryl, let's give everybody your contact information again and make sure they have that. So if they need to reach it and potentially hire you, what is that contact information?
Absolutely. I like to be either called on the phone or you can send me a text at 512-789-7543.
All right. And so to get on with some of the questions then that you've given us, and I like this next one. So, and feel free to dive into these a little bit and extend some time on them. The types of products that, what types of products do you create designs for?
Most of the products that I design as of lately are more on the print side. So logos, brochures, banners, business cards is another one. I'm also in the middle of creating a couple of websites and then some social media marketing. So on the social media marketing, I take care of the design for the platform, which is usually the cover image, the profile image, the content that needs to be written, and the images that portray or the videos that go with the content as well.
Yeah, so this is where it's a perfect match between me and you on business. Just to tell a little story, is if I have a client, then I have referred you into one, right? That if they need social management help, you can go in and set up the scheduling and help with the content and make sure it stays all organized. And then if I do video sides for them, I can get them to you to post and everything. So it's really cool. It's really cool in that sense. So awesome.
Yeah.
And you do lots of cool business cards. You do graphic design on logos too, real high-end stuff, correct?
Yes, I do.
All right. So tell us, Sheryl, tell us a little bit of a time process. So if somebody comes to you and they want a printed marketing piece, right? So generally, what is the turnaround? What is the time factor?
Depending on exactly what needs to be done. If it's a logo, a business card, or maybe a trifold brochure, we're looking at a week's tops. If it's a brochure that involves 4 to 8 pages, week and a half to 2 weeks.
That's still good. That's good turnaround.
Thank
Agreed?
you.
You're supposed to laugh and go, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, I haven't had any complaints on that, you know. Yeah.
No. I know that's funny. I had to do that. All right. So now I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm sure you have resources to many types of software. So what software do you find yourself using mostly or using for the work you do?
The Adobe Creative Suite.
No kidding.
Okay.
I would never guessed.
Well, you know, if they have it all in one package all together. Can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, and so it makes your life easy, right? You can do this over here, this over here. You don't have to go step outside and find another piece of software. You can make it congruent. It all stays together. It just makes sense, right? And
Yes.
and it's a great software. Tons of tools, right?
Oh, absolutely. And all the majority of the keyboard commands are pretty much the same, and so it just makes things go a lot faster.
Now, we both know, Sheryl, that designs and trends and things change all the time, right? You may see one color, one theme one year, and then the next year you may see something else, right?
Yes.
So how do you keep your inspirations and designs fresh, knowing that things change so fast?
Honestly, I just try to keep my eyes open to things that I like. If I see a billboard, I'll take a picture of it. Go into a restaurant. If I'm on the internet and I see something really, really cool, then I put all that into a folder for me to look later. But I also keep tabs with Adobe, again, has some great articles, as well as if I go into a Google search, there's just a lot of places where I get my information. So there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of research. I try to keep up to date and keep myself and my ideas fresh.
Yeah, and I could see somebody in graphic design always taking pictures or looking at things from an angle. Do you catch yourself, because you're this way, you have that creative side, do you always catch yourself looking around and seeing cool things that most people don't notice?
Yeah, actually, that's pretty interesting that you bring that up. I was actually going to the mall and I saw this really cool design on a tree on some bark, and I had to take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And so it's something that, and I can take that image and I can bring it into a design and add different colors and shapes and backgrounds and make it look really, really cool. So it's a lot of fun. It's nice to be able to see things from a different perspective.
Yeah, and so you do see things other people don't see, right? You graphic designers are all like that. That's cool. Hey, so we both have this problem. And I say it's a problem. It's probably not a problem as much as it's just an issue, or it's just stuff we have to keep up with. So how do you keep up to date with the latest technology? And maybe that's too broad of a question, so are there some things that you try to keep up with on technology to help your business?
A lot of it has to do with research, also talking to experts like you, Herdy.
Well,
And
thank you.
just keeping my eyes and my ears open of what people are using and how they're using it, and asking tons and tons of questions.
Yeah, and I will tell you that everybody in, whether it's graphic design or the industry I'm in on the consulting side of marketing, I think everybody that's been in this business for any length of time knows that there's things happen really quickly,
Yes.
really fast, changes happen that frustrate us all. But that's our job, right? When we go into clients, we're ahead of the game. That's what I love about what we do, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Hey, so the last question to kind of finalize our podcast, Sheryl, is the question is, what education background do you have? And I was going to say the School of Hard Knocks University, but is that right?
Well, that's part of it.
Okay.
I actually started with an associate's degree a while back, and then decided that I, needed to learn more about it. I'd taken some time off, been a mom, came back into it, and got my second associate's degree.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
Good
But
for
I'm
you.
constantly learning. So it's anytime that I see like some type of either a networking group or a person that's going to be giving some type of a seminar or a webinar, I'm constantly on the computer trying to keep up to date and figure out how I can take all that information and work it to my for my business and make things to move a little bit faster. So.
And I will, on a personal note, tell you that before we finish with the podcast, that Sheryl is really fun to work with. We talk a lot because we're on, she's got certain clients we both work with, and so we have to collaborate a lot. And I think it's important to know that what the clients don't see behind the scenes, right, Sheryl, is how a team that's not employees of each other, but how they bring different cool services to the table, right, can really help a client. And I don't think a lot of clients realize how much goes on behind the scenes to help that client, right, having discussions and meetings and getting our heads together. So I consider that part of the education background too. Yeah,
collaboration is really, really important.
And we do a lot of that, so it's good. I like that. So guys, we have been on the podcast tonight with the Austin Biz Buzz. We do build the buzz about Austin business. We love to support our local Austin business. And so if you've heard something on this podcast and you listen to it, whether you find it on Facebook or YouTube after it's over, and you think Sheryl can fit the bill to help you, and I guarantee you she can, don't hesitate to call her on the contact information she's given us. And Sheryl, any final words?
No, I just like to make my clients happy.
Bingo.
That's all.
I like that too. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Austin Biz Buzz. Our guest tonight was Sheryl Cota with Cota Design. And Sheryl, thank you so much for being on the podcast and taking your busy time to share with us a little bit about your business, and have a good night, okay?
You too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me the time, Herdy. I
All right.
enjoyed it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.